All right, let's go ahead and get started with Chapter 4 in Unit 8, and it's over simple moving averages. We've got quite a few objectives here. I will understand how data is smoothed. I will calculate the simple moving averages using the arithmetic average formula. I will calculate simple moving averages using the subtraction and addition method. Now, I will graph simple moving averages on a spreadsheet. Not really going to focus on that so much today, but you can review the textbook for that particular objective. Here's our objectives, or our key terms. Make sure that you've reviewed those before we go through this. So looking at our first example, it says the closing prices for 10 consecutive trading days for a particular stock are shown. Calculate the 5-day SMA, or simple moving average, and plot them on a graph. So we're mainly going to focus on the calculating them, not as much on the graphing, and then on the you-do, we'll give you an opportunity to graph them. So the first thing that we are looking at is day 1 through day 5. So we're looking at these portions here. So we're going to take those and we're going to add them together, and we're finding the arithmetic average, or the mean. So we're going to go ahead and add all of those together. And once we get those added together, we're going to divide by 5. Now, how did I get 5? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data, and when I'm finding the mean, I add them together and divide by the number that there are. So when I divide them, I actually get, let me put it in a different color, the first day 1 through 5 simple moving average is $35.22. Now we're going to go ahead and continue that process 5 more times. So we have day 2 through day 6. We have day 3 through 7. We have day 4 through 8. We have day 5 through 9. And we have day 6 through 10. So basically, it's just doing the same thing. So go ahead and follow along with me so that you can keep caught up, because I'm going to go very fast with this. We have 35.01 plus 3465 plus 3609 plus 3532 plus 3550. Again, all of that divided by 5, and I end up with 3531 is the average for that second day. All right, next day, day 3 through 7. I have 3465 plus 3609 plus 3532 plus 3550 plus 3503. All of that divided by 5. And on that day, I end up with 35.32. Day 4 through 8, I've got 3609 plus 3532 plus 3550 plus 3503 plus 3579. All of that divided by 5. And I end up on that 5 day with 3555. Next, I have 3532 plus 3550 plus 3503 plus 3579 plus 3707 divided by 5, and I end up with 35 74. And on some of these I am having to average, so remember how to average. If it's 5 or above, I round up. If it's 4 or below, I keep it the same and drop anything after the second number. Last one, we have 3550 plus 3503 plus 3579 plus 3707 plus 3605. All of that divided by 5, and I end up with 35.89. All right, quite a bit there. So now let's go ahead and take a look. We are going to do just a basic graph. I'm just not going to get very, because we do want to talk about our smoothing techniques, which is one of our objectives for today. So if I were to graph these over the days, it looks like I have a range of about 35.22 all the way up to 35.89. So if I had, like, say 35 here, 35.20, 35.40, 35.60, 35.80, and 36, then I look at just graphing them. Well, the first one was 35.22, so I'm looking at about here. 35.31 comes up just a little bit, that's probably a little too high, about right here. 32, it's almost exactly the same. So almost not even noticeable on the graph. 35.55 is going to come up here. 35.74 goes up even further. And then we end up at 35.89. Now, what this does, anytime the stocks trade, it actually changes the price of the stocks. Not by a lot, but just a little bit. And as you're doing that, you're seeing kind of the jagged edges that happen with the prices, and it happens with that. By finding our averages, what we're doing is basically taking it and smoothing it out. And that is known as the smoothing technique. All right, go ahead and take a moment to calculate these. Press pause while you're doing it. Go ahead and graph them, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go through and do all the same calculations. I will give you the values, though, that we're graphing. We had 53, 50-40, 47-40, 44-20, 43-20, and 45. So we're ranging anywhere from 43 to 53. So let's go ahead and break these down. That looks like a little off here. Give me just a second. So breaking it down, I know that the first day was 53, second was 50-40, third was 47-40, somewhere right in there, maybe a little bit higher. Next day was 44-40, so we're looking way down here. 43-20, and then 45. And so the graph ends up looking a little bit like this when it smooths out. All example 2, use the subtraction and addition method to determine the 4-day SMA for the following closing prices. So for this, we do start out similarly as we did in our first method. We're going to add the first 4. It's asking for a 4-day, so we're going to add 4 of them together. We get 121 plus 122 plus 120 plus 119. I got those values right here. And we're going to divide it by 4, and we end up with 120/50. Now here's where the addition subtraction comes in. So we're going to come down here and leave our same value that we ended with on the first calculation. We're going to take out the first number because that one is the one we're not including anymore. And we need to make sure that we keep it over 4 so that we are calculating it correctly. And then we're going to add in the 5th one. So 124 over 4. So if I take the 124 over 4 and I subtract 121 over 4, keeping the signs in mind, I'm looking at 3/4 of a dollar. Well, there are 3/4 in a dollar, so I'm actually adding 75 cents. So 120.50 plus that 75 cents, I'm now at 121.25. Next day, let's go ahead and carry the 121.25 down, and let's move on to the next. We're going to now subtract out the 122 over 4 and add 128 over 4. Well, 128 over 4 minus 122 over 4 gives me 6 over 4. So 6/4 is $1.50. So I'm at 121.25 plus 1.5 or 150 equals 122.75. So now I've got 122.75, and I've got one more set of calculations. So next one, I'm going to subtract the 120 over 4, not including that anymore, but I'm going to add this last one, which is 126 over 4. So 126 over 4 minus 120 over 4 again gives me 6 over 4, which is 150. So I've got 122.75 plus 150 equals 124.25. And that is using our subtraction and addition method. Okay, go ahead, press pause, solve this. When you're ready, come back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go through this very quickly. Top one, you have 28 plus 31 plus 37, all divided by 3, which gave me 32. Second line, I've got 32 minus 28 over 3 plus 38 over 3, which gives me basically 10 over 3 or 3.33. So I'm at 35.33. Last one, 33 35.33 minus 31 over 3 plus 35 over 3 gives me 4 over 3 or 36.67. And those are my 3 simple moving averages using the addition and subtraction method. So we'll go ahead and finish up the last couple of examples in our next video. Good job, everyone.